What is up, everybody? Me and Ken, we're here to discuss UFC 330 from the prelims all the way to the main event. This was in Philly. Ken started off with the opinion on the rating and stuff like that.
The rating, like
Out of
out of
10.
10. No, it maybe like a even 5.5, 6.
I just want to say, bro, underdog city. I mean, not really in the main card, but like, dude, there were some prelims that were insane for the underdogs. But other than that, yeah, I would kind of give it like a 6.57 out of 10. I feel like a lot more could have been done for this card. Um, but yeah, we'll get into it. We'll start from the bottom. We're gonna work our way up. Enjoy it. We're gonna start with Jeremiah Wells versus Mytek Orabai. Me and Ken both started the card off 0-1. Um, dude, what did you think about this fight beforehand and afterhand?
I mean, Oribai's like a huge meme. Like everybody loves Oribai now.
The
I don't
caveman.
really like. Yeah, I don't really like Jeremiah Wells. I was very disappointed in this fight. Very
Dude,
disappointed.
Mytek Orabai comes in as a minus 1,300 favorite, and he's doing enough to Jeremiah Wells the first two rounds. But what I noticed was that he was not taking shots the best. Like he would get damaged. I feel like Jeremiah knew the shots that were hurting him. And then in round three, Mytek Orabai does a little um what would you call it? Like a prayer takedown, and then Jeremiah Wells cinches up a submission in round three and wins performance of the night as the first fighter in the UFC as a Philly native. That's a USA win to start. Um, but yeah, dude, he was a plus 750 underdog. Crazy to start the card. Moving on to the next fight, these two welterweights, Neil Magny and Ramiz Brahimaj. Neil Magny also coming in as a plus 120 underdog, and I think you called this him to win. Uh, dude, Neil Magny gets a victory, turns back the clock.
Yeah, Ramirez got the takedown. Fully mounted Neil Magny in the first round. He was working for a sub. Obviously, the crowd was booing. I was like, okay, Ramirez definitely has this. And then round two, Ramirez went for the immediate takedown. Neil reversed, hands up. He stayed on his back and landed some big shots to win by KO.
Yeah,
Dude, the Younks, man. The Younks are undefeated this year.
they're killing it this year. And this Brahimaj's debut.
No, he's fought it several times. I couldn't remember him, but like I've seen interviews with him now. I remember him. He's like from New York. He's
Yeah,
Armenian, I think, or something like that. Um,
yeah.
But
Well, I
he's
feel like
hilarious. He's a
some
character.
yeah. I feel like if you are gonna lose to someone, lose to Neil Magny. You know, Neil Magny's not someone who he'll probably learn from this loss. And I also feel like a lot of fighters, like, I feel like when they do get that step up in competition, they try, like, I would say in this case, he kind of gassed himself out in the first round and a half trying to go for the finish and stuff like that. And I just feel like experience outweighs that. And it's like once you're tired, you can only take so much. It doesn't matter how, like, Neil Magny probably knew he lost the first round, but who knows? Maybe, that experience led him to knowing that eventually this guy's going to tire out and I'm going to get him. But nevertheless, Neil Magny wins, another underdog win. Um, Moving on to light heavyweight bout between Rafael Tobias and Lucas Fernando. The favorite wins here, minus 280. Dude looks sensational. Rafael Tobias looked terrifying when he was in there for the face-off and stuff for the announcement. But dude, Lucas Fernando had some crisp striking, dude. Insane,
He hit him
Ken.
with that. He hit him with that during
Literally.
the introductions. Yeah, dude. Lucas Fernando outclassed Tobias in the striking. Um, I mean, Fernando started with some good calf kicks, hurt Tobias, dropped him with a jab in round two. And then round three, Tobias came out swinging. Fernando landed that nasty knee up the middle, dropped him, followed up with the elbows to the head, finished it. At Tobias, I mean, he has a cool nickname, cool look. I wouldn't want to fight the guy. I don't know these guys that well.
Right.
Um, I was just picking a lot of these fights because they are unranked guys. Some of them are unknown. I think it's really hard to put like odds on these fighters, and I think that's why
Right.
there's so many upsets like in the beginning of the card mainly. That's why there was so many
Yeah.
upsets because like these guys are unranked, so they're like closer, I think, than ranked guys. Like if you have like a number six versus or like a number five versus a number one, like Mackenzie Dern and Jillian Robinson, like it's easier to see, who's gonna win that fight versus like two unranked guys that you don't really know much
Almost
about.
two unknowns. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, Lucas Fernando gets in there and totally outclasses Rafael Tobias with striking and finishes him in round three by a TKO and in 1 minute. And yeah, dude, I think give him another tomato can and give him another highlight reel take TKO here. He has a lot of room to grow. Moving on to a middleweight bout between this one was a true 50-50 shot here. Tresean Gore wins a decision against Vicente Luque. Dude, Tresean sold the freaking he had the choke. I thought he was gonna choke out Tresean Gore.
Yeah, I thought so too. He had the Darce locked in. I think he burned out his arms trying to secure it, gassed out. They were both pretty gassed, honestly. No, dude. The third round was pretty competitive. Obviously, I think Trayshawn landing the biggest shots of the fight and is what won him the fight. Dude, Trayshawn afterwards with his
His
teeth missing, that was
tooth, dude.
crazy.
Thing was like
He
this
had a few.
long.
Boy, that's all the way to the root, man. You gotta think. That's crazy. But hey, that's off to Trayshawn
That's the
Gore.
fight game,
I
dog.
had I had Vicente winning, so clearly I didn't know anything this fight card because I think the majority of the people I had picked to win, I think maybe I went 500 on this card.
Yeah, I had Tresean
Pretty
Gore, but
bad.
dude, I thought Vicente Luque looked a little pudgy in there, but he looked good. I think Tresean Gore won the decision. I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, it was a
Moving on
competitive
to
fight.
yeah, moving on to not a competitive fight at all. Dante Johnson versus Eric McConico. Dante Johnson knocks out Eric McConico in a minute and a half. I kind of expected this, saw it coming. Um, at least him by
I don't know.
finish.
Ante puts himself in some very vicarious situations. I think some very dangerous situations. He's gonna get clipped one of these days. I think he definitely is KO or bust. He got the job done.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're 100% right. I think that it's only a matter of time before Eric McConico is not somebody who's going to bring the heat back as much when he does get cracked. But when he fights somebody like that, like you said, he does leave openings. So yeah, I guess I'm eager to see how his next fight goes and who they match him up with. Moving on to Charles Johnson, our boy, versus Edward Chaparlin. And Charles Johnson wins by submission. If I'm not mistaken, it was a Russian twister.
Turkish twist. I don't know what it
Turkish
was.
twister, something like that.
Some
Whatever it
foreign
looked
twist,
like,
man.
it hurt. Whatever it was, it hurt. And Edward Chaplin was tapping, and yeah, dude, Charles Johnson gets a submission win here. Ken, performance of the night. What do you got to say about it?
I think this was a lot closer of a fight than I think many people thought it was going to be. Give Eduardo first because he did make it a very competitive fight. Then Charles Johnson pulling something out that like nobody's ever seen before. I think this
Crafty.
did more. Yeah, this did more for Eduardo's stock, I think, than Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson was probably it was expected to win. I mean, it was a pick 'em, but I think
How much
Eduardo
fight
did pretty
game?
good.
Think of how much fight game Edward Chaplin's gonna gain from this loss. Like everyone who fights Charles Johnson gets better. You
He's about
know?
to challenge Van for the title.
Yeah, I forget who says it, but like how they always say like when you win the belt, you automatically get 20% better. But it's like if you fight Charles Johnson, like that's almost better than winning the belt. Like.
Maybe.
um, moving on to a welterweight bout between Chidi Nijikawani and Joel Alvarez. Dude, underdog city. Um, Joe Alvarez game plan was shit.
Yeah, I mean, they kept bringing it up. He was training with Islam, he was like the Ian Gary stand-in, and he took
This
the
made
fight
me
on 2 week
nervous for the Ian
notice.
fight.
Yeah, honestly, but he took the fight on 2 week notice. So I mean, you got to give him some like leeway there with how he performed. But dude, making this like a fucking Muay Thai kickboxing fight with like a guy who's had like 30 plus Muay Thai fights, like that's probably the worst thing he could have did. And I
Right.
mean, just this is like fight IQ's horrible right now.
Just bought, man. He should have gone for a
Yeah.
takedown, should have done something. Cheaty just completely had him figured out by the end of the first round. Then it was just Cheaty the whole way. I felt like it was just a beatdown. Plus 270, Cheaty gets it done. And that's it for the prelims. Moving on to the main card. Dude, Edson Barboza retires after getting knocked out by Esteban Ribovic. Um, yeah, I think we both kind of saw this coming. I mean, I know you were kind of praying for a wind the clock, turn back time machine moment, but dude, he got his ass whooped.
This was just like we saw
Sad.
Connor, yeah, we saw Connor fight and you know, Connor threw one kick and towards ACL, whatever. But this was more sad, I think, because like, dude, he looks so old. He's ripped,
Yeah.
but he looks so slow, still trying to throw the spinning back kicks. He landed them. But I mean, Father Time, dude, comes for everybody, undefeated. And
Right.
yeah, I picked with my heart when I picked Edson to win. I wanted him to win this and then retire. Couldn't have gone any worse. Second round KO. That was he looked so off too. Like
Yep.
whenever he was coming out and he started crying, I was like, I
Fuck.
shouldn't have picked him to win. He's definitely retiring after this, but like
Yep.
that is like the worst. That it was just horrible watching it. But hey, hats off to Esteban Ribovic. It's a good name to have.
Hey, speaking of like that, be like knowingly going into your last fight, do you think the UFC should do more? Like, I mean, I know it's kind of sacrilege, but like, should they give him tomato cans for the last fight? Like, I don't know, like giving somebody Esteban Ribovic, like you're a plus 575, at least make it even. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Do you think that that would be more entertaining almost? Like this
Well,
this shit was
John Anik said that they didn't know if he was going to retire. He
yeah,
wasn't going to tell them, so they couldn't put like a package together or anything like that.
right.
Which he said they probably would have done that if he would have told them that he was retiring, but he didn't say anything about retiring. So, I mean, you got to feed the older guys to these new young guys, I guess.
That's true. I mean, hey, to be
Like
honest,
game.
it, Argentina gets 1 out of 3, man. 1 out of 3, you know? But yeah, Esteban Ribovic wins by knockout in the second round and yeah, he looked good. I'd like to see who they match him up with next. Moving on to another performance of the night, we have a middleweight bout between Dustin Stovos and Mansour Abdul Malik. Mansour Abdul Malik coming in as a minus 700. Just looked like he literally was figured out from the bell.
I mean, it kind of, being training partners in the past, like being from the same fight camp. I mean, think Dustin had his number tonight. Round one, Dustin clearly won. Round two was more competitive and still won it. And then round three, dude, just or
He got the
sorry, round
submission
two
at the end of
submission.
round
Yeah,
two. Yeah.
yeah, like, dude. I just think like the experience of being training partners, like you don't want to fight your training partner, especially if it's been like a long term training partner and you're from the same camp. You kind of know each other too well. I think they should like maybe not match people up, but
Dude, I also feel
the
like that
same.
choke was nasty. Like
Yeah,
shoulder into the chin to choke him out with his own shoulder. Like that's crazy, dog. Shout out to Dustin Stolfus. Well deserved performance of the night, coming in as a plus 500. Yeah, dude. I think I texted you as like a plus 1400 to win for him to win by submission, or plus 2300 for him to win by submission, or round one submission, round two submission. Crazy. Dustin Stolfus wins this. Mansour Abdul back to the drawing board. We'll probably see him again. They'll probably feed him a tomato can because he does have a little bit of potential. But yeah, I want to see how he bounces back from here. Moving on to somebody who I feel like always has potential when his mind's in the game. Jalen Turner knocks out Kai Fernandez in round one with a wild finish. Um, dude, how stupid can someone be? Like, what are you spinning for in the first 3 seconds? I don't get it. Like crazy. What'd you think here?
I mean, I had Fernandez winning again. I thought he was gonna throw some calf kicks and like get him out with another leg kick KO. But yeah, just again, low IQ night for some of these fighters. Throwing something
Yeah,
spinning against a dangerous guy like Jalen Turner. You know, maybe Jalen Turner coming back because of God. God gave him the strength to throw those hands and gave
yeah,
him more power, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah.
hey, Jalen Turner looked dangerous tonight. I
When his
feel bad
mind's
for
in the
whoever fights
game,
him
he
next.
is dangerous. He's so dangerous because he has so much power. He has like that lengthy power. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Jalen Turner wins another performance of the night here. Yeah, dude came in at a minus 120. You'd think that he would have been a fucking minus 300. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. Same thing with going back to the prelims. Same thing with what's his name? I have it right here. Never mind. Forget about it. Moving on to the women's strawweight title between Mackenzie Dern and Jillian Robertson. I think one thing I want to say here is just, dude, outskilled the whole entire time. I would have to give Jillian Robertson the last round, but dude, from the opening bell, a masterclass from Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, I don't think Julian Robinson started fighting till the fifth round. She was so slow, looked so hesitant, didn't want to
Right.
engage. Like I think I texted you whenever she shot and dove for Mackenzie's ankle. I was like, this fight's over. Like, and she
I
wasn't
think that,
listening to her corner at all. Hey, engage. We need you to do something. She just comes out hesitant, gets taken down, gets dominated for an entire round. She defended the submission very well. Clearly, Mackenzie Dern was going for submissions the entire fight. You can't say, hey, Mackenzie Dern didn't try to finish the fight. She was trying the entire time. Jillian Robinson's really good submission defense. But besides that, it was literally just Mackenzie Dern going for a sub the entire fight, Jillian defending it and not doing
yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, no, dude, you're very right. I totally love that breakdown of the entire fight. And I also think like Jillian Robertson, like I know understandably what Dean was saying at the in the at after the fights and stuff about not cornering, but dude, that corner advice was not good regardless. You know? Like we got to move our feet. We like it is not like any directive, it's just like, yeah, I like it's things that Um I feel like I don't know, Ken. I don't know. What
I
what
think
do you
after the
think?
first round when he's like, "Hey, you got to do something. You're here. You got to show us something." And then round 2, like for round 1 she didn't do anything. Round 2 you're giving the same advice. She doesn't do anything round 2
Right.
either. Like
Right.
I mean, throw in the towel honestly. Dean should have just threw in the towel. The fight was over
Oh my
like
god, could
after
you imagine?
like he
Um
wasn't she didn't listen to any corner advice. She didn't fight until round 5.
it's very
Did she
rare.
not think the fight started till the fifth round? Like
Yeah,
what is she
it's
doing, dude?
I was going to say it's very rare, but I think I audibly said, "Oh no," during this fight. You know what I mean? Like when she shot for that takedown, I think I was like, "Oh no." Like this is not good for her. Dude, Mackenzie Dern should have been a minus 500. I mean, maybe more, dude. She literally like even the striking, like it literally when Jillian Robertson was throwing punches, I was thinking of like squeaky noises, you know? Like I think Mackenzie Dern could have kept this standing and finished her on the feet.
You know what the funniest thing though is? Dean Thomas was quoted saying that the Mackenzie Dern versus Jandaroba fight was the most pointless fight for a title ever. I think that came back to bite him because this was the most pointless title fight ever.
Right.
It was like, I mean, leading up to the fight, thought Jillian might have had a chance. Like the fifth ranked girl in the strawweight division against the champion. Like you don't usually see number five facing for like going for a title unless the champions cleared out the division. But he had no chance. This was the most pointless title fight, I think, in the
Yeah,
history of the
just a card
UFC.
filler, man. They needed a co-main. It's crazy. I know I said it like a while back that I thought Jillian Robertson would get to the title shot. Um, dude, looking back, it's like her wins are wins, but they're not wins against the craziest competition. Um, this is definitely the best fighter she's ever fought in her whole career. And I guess I'm just I guess we'll see how she bounces back. She's like, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. She's never gonna raise a title. You know what I mean? Like
This is
the
as far as she can go. I think
I
Dean
like
Thomas was
I
right to drop her.
Dean is right, but he's wrong when he did it.
No, I don't think he should have been. He should not have been public with what he said, but at the
But
same
everything he
time,
said was
he
right.
was
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
I mean, when you're with somebody for that long, and it's almost like he couldn't get through to her, and it's almost like he's like, I'm done with this shit. Like, and it's a lot of pressure on him, I heard Dean talking about it on a podcast and stuff. But yeah, dude, Mackenzie Dern wins a unanimous decision here. I would have liked to seen a finish, but like you said, you can't knock her because she tried. She was going for the finish a ton. Um, did you see that funny clip of Keith Peterson when the round ended and he grabbed her ass and then
yeah,
grabbed her back? It's like,
yeah.
come
He's
on,
not
Keith.
slick.
Come
He's
on,
not
buddy. You ain't
slick.
slick with it. That camera angle got you, buddy. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern beats Jillian Robertson by decision, man. Minus 200. Crazy. Crazy. Moving on to the welterweight title bout between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Gary. Ken, after round 4, I was nervous.
Yeah,
What did you
uh,
what was your opinion on this fight as it was going on?
round one and two, I think was clearly Islam, and then round three and four was Ian. Clearly, I thought it was over when Islam dropped him with a head kick. I was like, okay, easy, easy night, and then he couldn't get the finish. And then, round five, we both said like that takedown was huge. That was the only way
It was
Islam was
the
gonna win the
deal
fight.
breaker. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what happened after that, as long as he maintained control for at least half of that time, he was winning it. You know what I mean? And dude, like, we'll take it away. What else? Like, what was your opinion on like the fight? Did you think Ian had him figured out?
I wouldn't even say that he had him figured out. I think Ian Gary's biggest reason he lost was how much respect he showed Islam. Like,
Downfall.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think his biggest
Dana
opponent
White was
inside the
right.
yeah, just like I mean, people were saying like, dude, do the hugging afterwards. Like, did you see that? Like, there was like a clip on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. It was like how many times Ian was actually
Every
like patting him on the
round.
back, hugging him, slapping him on
Tapping
the
him on
ass.
the head.
Like, dude, show you can show respect, but show it after the fight. You're in there fighting for the chance to be a champion. And I think that was his downfall. I think Islam, this is how he's most likely going to win his fights whenever he's going against somebody with as good as a grappling defense as Ian Gary has. We both said it. I think Ian Gary was probably his toughest matchup because the other like top welterweights are mainly strikers. So I think if he goes against Carlos Pratas, he's gonna take him down and just own him. I think Morales has a good chance, but I think Morales is KO or bust kinda. I think this was his toughest matchup in the welterweight division. I think his toughest matchup overall was his Alex Volkanovski, but this was his toughest matchup. He got it done. It was nasty. It was not the cleanest win, but he did get the win.
Yeah, no, dude, that was a great breakdown, and I totally um, see what you're echoing from the fight, and I think, dude, Ian, like with what you were saying before, I think he was at least the biggest test for Islam at this weight class. But and it's like what Dana said, man. I think if he had any killer instinct, he would have got Islam out of there. I feel I don't want Ian to win. He's annoying. I don't like him. But what I do want to say is I think, dude, Islam got exposed a little bit. I thought Ian was going to be riding the cage light on his feet. This dude planted his foot down. And every time Ian went for a takedown, he did that thing where he like wrapped his arm around and under the crotch and like, you know what I mean? Like, and held him there. That's a good defense.
Yeah,
And I feel like that is the path to go to if you're tall and you can get that. Um, but like with what you said, dude, I think Ian was just happy to be in there with a champion. I don't
yeah.
think, I don't think like Ian was gonna go for the kill even if he wobbled Islam. He would have been like, he would have hit him and been like, "I'm sorry, champ." You know, like it's crazy. Like you said, after every round, he was patting him on the back. He was saying good stuff. It's just weird because you know what else is weird too, and I think Dana doesn't like this. Is like Ian is just okay with what he's doing. Like he doesn't care necessarily that he lost this fight. Like I feel like it was the same thing with the Shavkov fight. Like it was like, yeah, I know, like granted he did take it on 2 weeks notice, but after the fact he was like, well, it's a learning experience, like things like that. And I just feel like he's saying like now like I'm gonna be back better than ever and stuff like that. It's like, bro, Dana don't like you. Like, do you not hear that? Like, I don't think you're gonna be back there. Um, what is your opinion on that?
I think Dana wanted Ian to be like the next coming of Conor McGregor because like Ireland does have like a huge fan base, and when Ian started out, he was like flashy. He was exciting. He hasn't finished anybody since 2022 or 2023. I can't
Playing it
remember which.
super safe.
Yeah, he's like a decision merchant. He's going very. I mean, he's getting wins. He's being smart about it, but he's not exciting. He's not what Dana White thought he was going to be. I don't think he's what anybody thought he was going to be. He was like a great prospect. I think it's just he just gets in his own way, dude. Even before the fight, during the walkout, going over to Carlos Pratas, hugging him, dapping him up, going to
You don't
Morales,
need to
hugging
do
him,
that,
dapping him up.
dude.
Yeah, dude, like focus on Islam. This is for the
They also want to
championship.
kill you.
Yeah. This is for a championship, dude. And then after the loss, backstage with Morales saying, like, hey man, like, don't be talking shit about me. Like, we're cool. Like, I want to be cool with you. Dude, these guys want to kill you.
Trying to tell Morales how to fight. It's like Morales is undefeated and just knocked out Sean Brady. It's like
Yeah.
you're sitting there, you like I don't know. Um what was uh what was your opinion on the head kick?
I didn't expect that. I mean, I thought Ian was too tall for Islam. I didn't think you'd get that
Dude, he
a
got
kick up
that
that
up
high,
there,
but
huh?
yeah, dude. Volkanovski, dude, he had kicked Volkanovski. I was like, oh shit, he's got it. It's over. Dude, Islam's got power. He is more of a striker than Khabib was. I think this was his toughest matchup, like I said. I think the next couple matchups he's gonna have are gonna be primarily strikers. So I think he's gonna have the advantage in the grappling. He's most likely gonna get some sub finishes. But I think this fight was a good showcase for his striking, rounds one and round two, particularly. And then round three and four, he kind of got gassed out, got caught a little bit. And then round five, thank God he got that takedown. But like I said, this was the hardest fight. I think the next couple fights for him are going to be a lot easier than Ian. You got to give it up for Ian. Like, even though I hate him, this was probably the toughest matchup for Islam.
Right. No, I totally agree. Um Two things I want to say and I want to hear if you agree with them. Islam is definitely having a tougher time at 170, I think, than 155. I think that at 155, like you said, his biggest challenge was somebody who was coming up from 145. I feel like he was kind of steamrolling through people. And I feel like the other thing I wanted to say was I feel like Islam almost doesn't take damage well at all. His face swells up bad. He doesn't look the best. Ian doesn't really look like he got into a fight. I mean, to be granted, that's his fault. He doesn't go for stuff. The other thing I wanted to hit on, and I know you were saying this, and I wanted to kind of map this out. I feel like Ian was taking those chances until he started fighting ranked people. And then the moment that he started fighting ranked people, it was like, how can I get to the belt? And then he gets there and he's still boring as shit. Like I don't know, man. It was just annoying. I think like after this fight, obviously Islam Makhachev breaks the Anderson Silva record. Where do you put Islam on the GOAT list? Is
He's pound for
Islam
pound.
has he
He's pound
passed
for pound.
Habib?
No, he can't pass Habib yet. I mean, he has more. I think the one is what's gonna be his downfall, his loss.
I
Habib
hate
was
that.
29-0. He's 29-1. But going back to what you were saying about him not taking damage well, that's like known. Like his fight against Poirier, his fight against Volk, he looked the exact same. He was beat up. I think maybe because like all his other fights, he doesn't really get damaged, so his face doesn't have like, I guess like he's not used to getting hit as much or as often.
Right.
But yeah, and then I agree with the same thing you said about Ian not taking the chances against ranked guys. Like even this fight, like this is for the championship. You got to take chances, especially if it's like even going into round five, like two to
And he
two.
had the striking advantage. Like,
He definitely had a striking advantage, and he stopped the takedowns pretty well. Like you said, the grabbing the crotch and escaping around the side, he was doing that pretty much every takedown he defended. Um, yeah, I just don't understand. He was the bigger guy. You think like he was stronger than Islam on a lot of those takedowns. I just think he should have went for it and took some more chances. But like
yeah.
you said, against the ranked guys, he wasn't doing that, and he didn't do it against the champion either.
Right. I think he thought he could play it safe. And then I even think as soon as that takedown hit in round five, I think he knew he lost. Dude, I don't know, man. Islam Makhachev wins a unanimous decision here. That's UFC 330, guys. And it's in Philly. Um, yeah, they just announced I think Volk and Evalev, and then who's under that? Piotr Yan and Merab Dvalishvili. We'll talk about that in a soon video. And then this weekend we have who's up this weekend?
Hernandez and RoboCop.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we got Sergey Spivak and Vivor Petrino as the co-main. I feel like Renier de Ritter should be the co-main. But okay. What a weird
Rhaenyra's
card
moving
this
up in
is.
weight class too.
Yeah, that should have been the co-main. But guys, that's UFC 330. We wanted to get on here talk about the prelims, main card, and everything like that. Ken, is there anything you want to hit on before we get out of here?
No, not really, honestly. We'll just see probably later on this week. Do a little preview of the Hernandez card, maybe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys, we will get out of here. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your night.
I'll catch you.